So I need to talk to you guys about Ellen DeGeneres. I'm sure you already know who she is, so I'm not going to explain it to you. But on her show, she does this thing where she has these monsters jump out of this box in between the chairs they're sitting on and scare the guests. Here's another example of that here, just this clown monster terrifying this guest. But there's something I noticed while watching one of these videos. If you take a look right here, I noticed that when this clown jumps out, look at Ellen's face. She's not laughing or getting scared herself. It almost looks like she has this concerned look on her face. Like, oh great, not again. Another monster has escaped. So at first I thought nothing of it, but then I came across this image of the basement in her studio, and it appears to be Ellen branded human-sized cages that would be perfect for locking up monsters. So I've done a professional artist depiction here of what I think could be happening, which is that these monsters are being held in cages on the bottom level, and they have created some sort of tube system in which they are climbing up the tube and escaping out of the box during her interviews on her show. And I thought, well, why is this? Why is this happening? So I kept looking further into it, and I started looking into her co-host, Jeannie. Now, she appears to just be this nice young girl, and Ellen sends her out on these segments on her show to see people and go to their houses, and she's basically her person that goes out on the streets. But I noticed that they never show her from any angle except for straight on. You only see her looking straight at the camera. And I thought, well, why is that? Why don't they ever show her on like a side view, for example? Well, then I came across this leaked image that a audience member took of her standing sideways, and take a look at this. So she appears to resemble from a side view Igor, who, as you may or may not know, is a very famous evil henchman. It's like the second-hand person to the main evil person. So that got me thinking, who actually is Ellen DeGeneres and what is she up to? Well, I started looking at the name Degeneres because I've never met anybody else with that last name before, and I thought, well, what could that actually stand for? And then it hit me. Degeneres stands for, dude, Ellen's getting every nightmare ever ready, even Satan. And I thought, okay, well, that's very strange. What about her first name, Ellen? If you take the letters from the name Ellen and you rearrange them just a little bit, you can clearly make what appears to be two monster cages that have been opened up for a monster to escape from. And I thought, well, let's try this again. So I took the word Ellen and rearranged it once more at complete random. And it looks like, to me, a Frankenstein monster who has escaped a cage and is running for its life. At this point, I still couldn't quite figure out what was going on here. So I got out the old calculator and started doing a bit of spooky math. And this is what I came across. So Ellen was born 1958 in Louisiana. So I look into Louisiana, and I find that there is this folklore that talks about something called the Honey Island Swamp Monster, which has been seen as early as 1963. Well, if you take 1963 and you subtract the year Ellen was born, 1958, it gives you 5. If you take 5 and subtract 1, the number of confirmed Ellen DeGeneres that exist, it gives you 4. Which just happens to be the number of Ninja Turtles that there are. Now, the Ninja Turtles are named after Renaissance painters, and the Renaissance age began approximately in the year 1300. Now, there's also a bike called the Ducati 600 Monster, and Ellen is currently 61 years old at the time of this video. So if you take the 600 from the Ducati Monster, add Ellen's age, it gives you 661. Now take that 661 and add the 1300, and it gives you 1961, which just happens to be the same year of the first appearance of Mothra, the monster from the Godzilla franchise. And what is Mothra's nickname in those movies? Queen of the Monsters. Which is exactly what I believe Ellen DeGeneres secretly is. I think she's hiding this spooky alter ego. I think she is building an army, trying to keep them locked in cages, so that she can unleash them on the world. My guess is probably Halloween night. This is a very dangerous conspiracy to uncover because Ellen is a very powerful person, so I'm probably going to go into hiding for a while. But before I do, I should mention that a new Patreon supporter has joined the basement. His name is Robert, and I guess things didn't go so well at first. I should really start screening these people's backgrounds before I let them into the basement. But everybody should be fine. I'm not too worried about it. If you'd like to join the other patrons in the basement, there's a link to my Patreon in the description. Thank you very much for supporting the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.